One of the marks of the loser is to always attribute malevolence to other people's decisions that you don't like, and it's the mark of a loser because nobody gets up in the morning and says, I want to do evil. I want to do bad. I want to destroy. Nobody thinks that way. So the reason that we have these things is not malevolence. It's not because people are just so incredibly evil. You need to step foot in other people's shoes. So just like I was in a writing class in 2009, and I was writing all these stories about my girlfriend and my exquisite feelings and how she was hurting my exquisite feelings and how vulnerable and raw I felt. And one day my teacher just got tired of all my stories from my perspective, and she said, why don't you write things from Lisa's perspective? And so that just snapped me out of my self-absorbed, super sensitive feelings. And suddenly I just snapped into seeing things from her perspective. Then all these things made sense. So all these things that I was kind of moaning about and wondering about and getting all super sensitive about, when I just looked at things from her perspective, her behavior started making complete sense. So we need to put ourselves in other people's perspective. For example, I've got a friend who runs a major advertising company. So I asked him, why do you people in advertising, why you're always pushing the interracial message? And he says, because it's eye-catching, okay? Because it gets noticed, all right? You make an ad, and you've got this beautiful blonde girl with a very dark black guy. It gets noticed. It's like it catches the eye. It's subliminally shocking or consciously shocking. So it's not that people who run our advertising agencies are set on destroying Western civilization. They want to get noticed, they want to be edgy, and they also want to fit in with the values of their particular elite group. So almost everything that we do is because we want to look cool to a certain group. So I think what's going on in advertising and in pornography, for example, there's a follow-up question I noticed on this very same theme. In pornography, it says, Luke, in the adult film, why was the blonde woman being partnered with black men? Why is that being so pushed? It almost seemed like an in-your-face video. You're so weak, your own women reject you. Was this meant to be this way? It was meant to make money. Okay, it's eye-catching. It's shocking to see this beautiful blonde girl with this really dark black guy, and it also feeds into an erotic template of for many people. They don't go to pornography because they want to be elevated. They go to pornography because they want to exercise their demons. And so the type of people who spend the most time with pornography are people, once again, who are failing at life, just like most of the people who push, the alt-right on 4chan. If you're failing at life, if you're failing with women, then you're going to have all this resentment and hatred of women. And then if you see them in your mind being debased by being with certain men, that is going to increase your erotic charge, because it's precisely because you so hate these women who reflect for you all the women who have rejected you in real life. And so why have these women rejected you in real life? Because you don't have your life together. You don't have your act together. So you deal with your failure by creating these scenarios where you thread your way through an erotic minefield and take what is most humiliating and painful, disturbing, anxiety creating, fear producing in your own life, and you create these elaborate scenarios whereby, this hot blonde chick who represents hot blonde chicks who've rejected me, now I get to see her debased in the most debasing way possible. I really hate that bitch. I'm so superior to her, and look at how she is debased here on camera for my pleasure, that she's even doing it with this particular guy who's like the least likely guy to be with her in real life. So I think that's what's going on. That also there's uncertainty avoidance. So in Anglo culture, meaning the United States and parts of Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and England, we tend to have low uncertainty avoidance, meaning that which is different is not that frightening to us. So, for example, Anglo-Saxons have long had a pretty high rate of outmarriage. They would move to Hawaii or to China or to India, and they would frequently outmarry, because from an Anglo-Saxon perspective, that which is different is not that frightening. It may even be interesting. It's like, oh, this may be worth giving a shot. While cultures in Eastern Europe and Central Europe, like Austria, Germany, and then east of there, and also in Orthodox Judaism, these are cultures with huge uncertainty avoidance. They hate uncertainty. They regard that which is different as incredibly dangerous. And so these cultures are going to have a very different attitude towards the stranger than, say, those in Anglo-Saxon cultures.
My mother's family is half Anglo-Irish, which is Anglo-Saxon in Ireland, and they have quite a lot of uncertainty avoidance, even though that's not the traditional Anglo-Saxon way, as Luke said. I think it comes from living in a place where you are surrounded by people who are different from you, even though the native Irish to the Anglo-Saxon are more similar than other groups are, far more similar. But there's a cultural angle, there's a political angle, it goes on and on. And so I think even like a group like the Anglo-Saxons can be trained, so to speak, to have high uncertainty avoidance. I think I've certainly seen that in my family line. A lot of groups, they will move to a new country and then assimilate to the country, even in their names. There are some people I know of Ukrainian Jewish background, but the middle name is Christina or Christine. But it's obviously just a part of assimilation. But looking at my own forebears, they had pretty much the same 5 names. In adult film, why was the blonde woman being partnered with black men so pushed? It almost seemed like an in-your-face video. You are so weak, your own women reject you. Was this meant to be this way? Luke?
Yeah, well, think about why are women paired with Ron Jeremy? Or why in some films are women paired with dogs or horses? You're trying, the pornographer only makes money if he appeals to enough people's love maps, meaning that their particular scenario or trail towards erotic excitement. So the men who spend time with pornography, who spend money on pornography, are not people who can take porn or leave porn. They're people who fail at real life, and therefore they want to exercise their demons through the consumption of pornography. So they're not, generally speaking, happy, well-adjusted men. They're men who fear and hate women. And so if you fear and hate women, what's more exciting to you? To see a woman with, a great-looking guy of the same race, or is it more exciting to see a woman with someone of a member of a group that is very low in social status, or to see a woman with Ron Jeremy? Like, of course, if you hate women, you are going to be amazed and delighted to see some 18-year-old girl having to have sex with some 280-pound, Ron Jeremy 50-year-old, dude. It's like the height of humiliation. And the whole reason you're going to be watching porn is because you desire vicariously to humiliate women, so that you can get back at all the humiliation that you feel that they have delivered to you.